Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 2 math. We are here for grade 10 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. There you can find a you have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 10 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the we're going to start with the chapter systems of linear equations. The lessons we're going to cover today are solve a system of equations using augmented matrices, solve a system of equation using any method, solve a system of equation by graphing. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. So let's just start with the first lesson, that is solve a system of equations using augmented matrices. So using augmented matrix x equals -1, 3x plus 2y equals -9. The first thing you need to do is write the augmented matrices. So let's just see how do we write the augmented matrix. You can rewrite these equations like you're given x equals -1. So you can write 1x plus 0y equals -1. Then the second equation is 3x plus 2y equals -9. So you can write the matrix as 1, 0, then you have negative 1, then 3, 2, and negative 9. Now you have to apply the operations on the rows. You can swipe any. You can swipe any two rows, multiply any row by a non-zero number, add a multiple of any row to another row. So basically you have to make this matrices as identity matrix. The identity matrix is the 1 0 and 0 1, right? And the third column is the values of x and y variable. When you convert the matrix to identity matrix, you have the values of x and y in the third row. So you have the column we have the matrix 1 0 3 2. You have to make this value we have to make 0, right? So how do we make? We can multiply the first row by 3 and subtract from the second row. So when you multiply the first row by 3 and subtract from the second row, you have 0 2 and negative 6. Now you have to make that 2 equals 1, so you have to divide the second row by 1. So you can see we have now identity matrix over here. So these are the values of x and y. X is negative 1 and y is negative 3. Let's just start with the test question. Solve using augmented matrices. Y equals 7 and x minus 3y equals negative 17. So let's just write down the augmented matrix first. That is x is 0, y is 1 and 7. Then you have 1, negative 3 and negative 17. So we have to convert these two rows to the identity matrix. We have to make 0 over here. So you can multiply R1 by 3 and subtract from R2, right? So you have to do R2 minus 3R1. That is 0, 1, 7. So 1 minus 0 because 0 times 3 is 0. Then negative 3 plus 3, add you to do. Negative 3 plus 3, then negative 17, and 3 times 7 is 21 it is. So you have 0, 1 and 7. 1, 3 minus 3 makes 0, and 21 minus 17 is 4. So you can see here you have the identity matrix. So x equals 7 and y equals 4. The correct option is option number 2. That is 4 and 7. Solve using augmented matrix. So x is 1, y is 0 and negative 8. X is 6, y is negative 5 and negative 8. You have to make 1 here, a 0 here. So multiply the R1 by 6 and subtract R2 minus 6 R1. That is 1 0 negative 8. 6 minus 6 is 0, minus 5 and minus 8 plus 48. That would be 40 over here. Now divide this row by -1. That is 1, 0, -8, 0, 1, -8. So both the x and y has the values -8 and -8. That is option number 1, -8 and -8. Solve using augmented matrices. -5x minus 3y equals 13. That is -5, -3 and 13. 1, 0 and 1. So you have to make the first thing is integer R1 and R2, right? So that would be 1, 0, 1, -5, -3 and 13. You have to make 0 here. We need to multiply R1 by subtract from R2. That is R2 plus 5 R1. That is -5 plus 5, 0, -3, 13 minus 5 is 8. You have to make 1 here. 18 it is. You need to add 13 plus 5 makes 18. Now you have to divide this row by 3 because you need to make 1 over here. So when you divide this row by 3, it would be 0, -3, it would be 1 and -6. So x is 1, -6. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is solve a system of equations using any method. Nx plus 9y equals 3 and y equals 7. Let's just start with the test questions. 5x minus 2y equals negative 1. Minus 5x plus 4y equals negative 13. So basically just look at the equations, whatever method you can find easy to solve these questions, you can solve, right? For example, just look at these equations. If you add these equations, variable x can be eliminated. So you can use the elimination method, that would be easy. So just add the equations. 5x minus 2y equals negative 1. And that depends on the equation. Just look at the equations, whatever method you can find easy, you can do. Equals negative 14. Y equals negative 7. Look, just one step and we have the value of variable y, right? Now you can substitute the value y in any of the equation and calculate the value of x. The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option, negative 3 and negative 7 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Again, if you add the equations, you can eliminate one of the variable. So when you add the variable y is eliminated, 6x equals negative 6, so x equals negative 1. Now you can substitute the value of x equals negative 1 in any of the variable and calculate the value of y. That is y equals negative 5. Option number one is the correct option. 5x plus 9y equals 1. Now, if you look at this equation, the easiest method to use is the augmented matrices method, right? Or you already have the value of the one variable. You don't have to use the augmented method matrices. You can use a substitution method because you already have the value of one variable, that is x. Just substitute the value in equation number 1 and calculate that is the substitution method. 5 times 2 plus 9y equals 1, that is 9y equals 1 minus 10. 9y equals negative 9y equals negative 1. Option number 1 is the correct option. Negative 3x plus 2y equals 12, and then x plus y equals negative 19. You can use the elimination method by multiplying the second equation by 3, right? Just multiply the equation number 2 by 3 and then add both the equations. That is 3x plus 3y 5y equals negative 45. So y equals negative. Substitute the value of y in any of the variable and calculate the value of x. So that is x equals 10. The correct option is negative 10 and negative 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Solve the system of equation by graphing. First graph the equations and then type the solution. So let's just see how do we graph the equations using, how do we find the solution of the equations by graphing. Let's just start with the test questions. Solve the system of equation by graphing. The equations are y equals x negative x minus 2 and y equals negative 2x plus 1. So let's just find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for both the equations. That is y equals negative x minus 2. So when x is 0, y is negative 2. And when y is 0, x is negative 2. And for the second equation, when x is 0, y is 1. And when y is 0, x is 0.5 or 1 by 2. Let's just plot these x and y intercept and see the point of intersection, right? X is 0, y is negative 2. And y is 0, x is negative 2. So that is the line 1. We'll draw a line later. Now x is 0. Okay. Now for the line 2, the point is x is 0, y is 1. X is 0, y is 0, and x is 0.5. Mm, Okay, let me use an online because I cannot make the exact lines over here, right? I am going to use the tool. Basically, you have to calculate the to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept like I did and them on the graph, right? So because I cannot make the exact lines, I'm going to check the solution lines over here. It would be 3 and -5, I guess. But let's just plot them here. Y equals -x minus 2. Y, you can use the graph paper and make proper lines, right? And the second equation is y equals -2x plus 1. Y equals -2x plus 1. Mm, that is 3 and -5, right? The correct option is 3 and -5. Here is the point. I'm plotting the points wrong actually. That is 0.50 and 0.1. Sorry. So the solution is 3 and -5. Option number 2 is the correct option. You just have to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for both the equations and then you have to plot them on the graph. I will. Okay, let's just make this one that is easy. X equals 6. So you have to make a line on x equals 6. Here is x equals 6. Okay, let's just make a line on x. Okay, the second one is y equals -x. X is 1. If I put x equals 1, then y equals -1, right? X equals 2, y equals -2. The line goes like this. So here is the point of intersection. That is 6 and -6. So the correct option is 6 and -6. Option number 2 is the correct option. That's what you have to do. You have to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for both the equations. Then you have to plot them on the graph and you have to find the point of intersection of both the lines, right? That is y equals -2x minus 6 and y equals -x minus 4. So the x is 0, y is -4. Okay, start with this equation. Y equals -x minus 4, right? So when x is 0, y is -4. And when y is 0, x is -4, right? And for the x and y intercept for the second equation is When x is 0, y is negative 6. When y is 0, x is negative 3. So 0 minus 4 and minus 4 0. And the second one is x equals. So the point of intersection is negative 2 and negative 2, right? The correct option is negative 2 and negative 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself today. So we were working on grade 10 math. The chapter we were working on is systems of linear equations. The lessons we have covered today are solve a system of equations using augmented matrices, solve a system of equations using any method, and solve a system of equations by graphing. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.